Open Stage would like to acknowledge the Susquehannock peoples, upon whose unceded land we produce this show. Open Stage commits to the work of dismantling the ongoing legacies of settler colonialism and the exclusions and erasures of many indigenous peoples that continue today. At Open Stage, we also believe that Black Lives Matter, and you should too. That belief starts with acknowledging plainly how the systems we depend on often operate as if they don't. We at Open Stage proudly stand united with Black people and communities of color during this movement of unrest and uprising. This show is brought to you by Open Stage, a professional theater company. Check out Open Stage's complete list of shows, all of which are offered completely free this season at openstagehvg.com. Thank you and enjoy the show.
You may shoot me with your words. You may cut me with your eyes. You may kill me with your wishes, but still love me.
I refuse to accept the view that mankind is so tragically bound. Through the starless midnight of racism and war.
And now, put your hands together for the hosts of Black NewsBeat, Basir Vincent and Dr. Kimeka Campbell!
Look at the crowd.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Okay. Yeah. I'm feeling this. I'm always feeling this, but I'm feeling this. Welcome to the Black NewsBeat. Now, I have to be quiet, but y'all have to be loud for me. So I'll say it one more time. I'm going to say real soft. Welcome to the Black NewsBeat.
Wait, let me try. Welcome to the Black NewsBeat!
So you may be wondering, the one who is always loud, what happened? So I don't have footage tonight, but I'm compiling it. I was in Chicago this weekend celebrating the 15th anniversary of election night for the one, the only, President Barack Obama. So we are called alumni, Obama alumni, and we had a gathering on Friday night, and it was chilling, drinking beers, you know what I'm saying, like reacquainting with everyone, and they were like, "Oh, we got this big stage, y'all come over here. There's more beers, y'all should come over there." We're like, "Fine." So we get over there, and David Axelrod's there. David Axelrod, David Plouffe, Michael Messina, all the big wigs of the campaign. People that when we were kids, 15 years ago, and we were like in awe of these people. So they're like now up here, they're old, we're not, all right, we are too, but we're not gonna tell them that. And they're like talking, and they're like, "And you guys, you did it, but nothing like our next guest. He's a statesman, he's a Nobel Peace Prize winner." And we start losing our minds. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so, because he wasn't supposed to come till the next day. So I'm in like a row seat, but there's like a whole floor. I get up, and I run down, and I'm like, and hence why I sound like this now. Thank you so much. It was an amazing weekend. We got to see all of our friends.
Michelle was there too.
Now, Michelle came out with her micro braids. And we were like, and that's when we really lost it, because first of all, she came and she does not do anything that's not off her schedule. They were like, we are so happy that Michelle's here because she does nothing off her schedule. She's like, I protect my time, which is a lesson for us all. So it was a beautiful time. Friday night, we had a huge election night celebration, celebrating 15 years to election night. Saturday, we had brunches and meetings. Sunday, I had to get back on a plane and come back. And this is the first day since Sunday that I've had any kind of voice.
It's been very different. It's been very different.
It's been what?
It's been, different.
Different? What's that mean?
It means you're normally very loud, and
Oh.
you can't be very loud.
He doesn't lie ever, so there's that. So, who is that guy?
You guys normally might not see me. I'm usually back there where...
So I go like this. It's Basir on the ones and twos, but they're not ones and twos. But this is the guy that be on the ones and twos. He is the show engineer. He makes sure that I don't completely die before shows, usually, because I'd be like, babe, what if I say something crazy, which is usually. So, babe, thank you for helping me because my voice is about to go out again.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
So, I hope you guys are loving Open Stage. Yeah. This is the home of the show. We started here 3.5 years ago. Oh my goodness. Every time I think about this, I'm like, so we started on that stage out there, the cabaret stage. This wasn't even done yet. And yeah, so we're very excited. So we'll be starting season 4 in Black History Month. Yeah. Babe, what are your memories of starting the show?
I remember so we've gone through, all my memories are connected to production. So we started with StreamYard. We've used StreamYard. So I can tell you guys all about the behind the scenes stuff. But it was, the COVID times. Or
the times of COVID.
Yeah, the times of COVID. So a lot of everything was remote, and we brought in guests, all remote, and yeah, those were my early memories of that time.
Mm-hmm. And Basir's been from the beginning, enduring me being nervous and yelling about things. So I love you very much. Thank you.
Love you too, babe.
Thank you. So let's check in. How y'all doing? Did you miss us? Did you miss all the election episodes that we showed you? Did you learn about the candidates? Because that was the goal, all right?
Did you all vote? Everybody better be clapping.
Better be. Yesterday was elections. They went well. Yeah. Well, usually I start with National Day, but we have elections to talk about. So let's sweep these streets. Let's find out what's going on in the county and the nation. Well, we're back.
She insisted going over this part, just so you guys know. She's gonna try to make it.
Because I have 4 more minutes of a voice. So, sweeping streets, here we are. We are here. And let's talk about diverse voices in the vote. Dauphin County's election reflection. In Pennsylvania's state elections, diversity saw both breakthroughs, and setbacks. While Democrat Kimeka Lane's win for the Superior Courts was a stride for inclusion, the overall state results were mixed. The Commonwealth Court saw Democrat Matt Wolf win, but the Supreme Court race didn't enhance diversity. Despite Dan McCafferty's win, extending the Democratic majority, issues like abortion rights and election integrity were voters' focal points. Turning to Dauphin County, The picture was similar. Latasha C. Williams and Tammy Dykes, both black women, faced narrow defeats for the Court of Common Pleas judge and recorder of deeds, respectively. Bridget M. Whitley's win as clerk of courts. Bridget M. Whitley's win as clerk of courts. Okay. Stood out, but did not signify a broader shift. The election narratives at both the state and county levels reflect the enduring hurdles of systemic racism and sexism. These outcomes, particularly in Dauphin County, mirror a national trend. Sporadic successes for minority candidates, particularly black and brown women, amidst a landscape that remains challenging. This underscores a clear message. Victories for diversity in the political arena are significant, but not yet indicative of a comprehensive overhaul of the entrenched barriers that minorities face. Yeah. But we have some celebrating to do tonight, because we have a candidate in the House who has made great strides towards hopefully most likely securing, because we can't claim victory yet because there's a lot of things happening, but hopefully most likely securing, hopefully most likely possibly assuredly securing a seat as the next Dauphin County Commissioner. Please welcome to the stage, Justin Douglas. So I said we had a special guest, and people were like, y'all always have a special guest. It's not real. It is real. Justin, welcome. Talk to us. What's going on with you since yesterday?
Oh, man. So I've got 2 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
And I've got 100 unread text messages still.
Yep.
Keep trucking through them, and they just keep coming back. And same with my messages and emails and everything. I mean, it's humbling, and it's a testament to people power. It's not me, it's we. I mean, it's just wild to think about. I mean, last night, me and my team sat down, and I was just like, we were crafting a statement at 2:30 in the morning, because everyone's reaching out to us for a statement, and I used the word surprised, and they're like, do we want to communicate that you were surprised? And I'm like, do we want to communicate that I'm an emotional human being who is shocked?
Right.
Like, yes, I mean, it's crazy, because, you see how much, in a lot of sense, you're up against it in these types of races, and then to see that knocking doors and being with voters and talking to voters and hearing their concerns, and I had a unique opportunity to knock in my particular township, Conewago Township.
Yes.
It's 80% Republican, and I knocked about 1,000 doors there, 1,000 Republicans, and I say that thank you. I say that because I'm interested to see when we kind of are able to do some of the after looking back at the election. A lot of the Republicans that I knocked their doors, they were open to voting for me.
Yeah.
And I think that's a testament to me being in the community, coaching their kids in basketball, being around. And I think people truly do just want somebody that is passionate about serving them.
Absolutely.
And I think I communicated that, and I think I'm just incredibly grateful for everybody who was a part of this. And when last night at 2:30 in the morning, we had a 42 vote lead. In 117,000 plus voters.
I hope all y'all voted.
So,
all your votes count.
I say that to say literally every dollar counted, every penny counted, every share that you did on social media counted. Every single vote counted. And let me make it clear, and that's why we're not declaring victory, because there's still 250 provisional
Correct.
ballots to be counted. And I want to make it clear that I believe in democracy, and I believe every single vote should count, and that's why I'm not declaring victory.
Absolutely.
Obviously, we've been told it looks very encouraging, and we're excited about that, but
And
we're
cool.
not
We're cool
declaring
with
victory. We're encouraged.
I put up this status earlier, and I want to read you these numbers because they're important, because people don't really know. And I tagged Justin. He probably didn't accept it. It's fine, because now he's famous.
Who did you tagged me?
Yep.
Oh, sorry. I've got about a million
I know,
notifications right now.
26,821 votes. This was 5 hours ago. Minus 2,600,779 votes. That was when we're still looking on the elections website. That's 42 votes.
Wow.
Since then, he's gotten 13 more votes.
Yeah, so 23, yeah.
Y'all,
Yep, every vote counts.
I always say this is a nonpartisan show, and we have to say that because we are nonprofits who are doing this show, but we are issue-based, and my issue is voting. Yes. Every single vote counts. Every single vote counts. When people tell you that your vote doesn't count, it's because it does. That's it. That's why. They want you to think your vote doesn't count.
You're going to lose your voice if you keep talking about voting, you know what I mean?
He's right. So tell us what's ahead and what we can look forward to.
So, there's a potential legal situation ahead. Last night I was on the phone with election lawyers, and, that's the next process. We may end up spending more on election lawyers than we spent on the entire campaign, which is kind of interesting to think about. But that's the power of people. We didn't win this because we raised the most money, and that was never a way we were going to win it. And I'm excited to say, I think there's a lot of people that are very interested in helping me with that and in securing the funding for that and making sure that happens. And ultimately, it's going to come down to what these provisions, what the process is going to be, how much challenge there's going to be, and all of that. But obviously, a recount is in order when there's something this close. I wholeheartedly support whatever the processes are for the county, and want to make sure that I think the thing is I trust the county, but there's also that trust and verify, and that's where we need to make sure that we have election lawyers present and making sure everything's being done above board, as I would expect anybody in this situation to do. So yeah.
Justin is the example. Every vote counts.
Yes. We are the example, not me.
We are the example.
Like those of you who show up, especially in municipal elections, I talk to so many voters who vote. We tried to target voters who vote for governors and vote for presidents, but skip in between. And we tried to sit down and talk to them and say, this is so important. You don't realize the impact this has on your life. And activating those voters and trying to remind them that these elections might legitimately have more impact on your life than these other ones.
Especially when it comes to the dollars flowing down to our communities.
Yes, 100%. And accountability and transparency. You could hold your local leaders accountable, and that resonated with a lot of people, I think. And so this is where I keep coming back to. I'm just incredibly grateful that people, certainly that they entrusted me, but that they use their voice. When so many times people might choose not to, and so. I'm thankful to be right here. You don't know how many media requests I have right now, but I'm on the Black NewsBeat.
Listen,
because
exclusive.
Because y'all.
That's all we'll say.
Well, here's the deal.
That's all we'll say.
My campaign is about people power, and I know that's the type of people you are. You are about elevating the people
of the Black NewsBeat.
Yes,
that's right.
So I'm thankful to be here.
We are the true independent media. Okay. Justin.
Yeah.
Again, nonpartisan show, but we are so happy to see you participating in this democratic process, putting your name out there, making sure that people have a choice. This is important, and we thank you for that.
Thank you. Love you both.
Thank you. Well, that's very emotional. Listen, I'm all about democracy, all right? As much as we could have it in the society that we have. Now I shall be quiet so Basir can do the news.
All right. This is going to be the only time I get to say this, because everyone knows I always try to give space, give voice to Black women. Never try to take
what
it.
You about to say?
But on this time, just shh. It's okay. Just preserve your voice. That's what I'm trying to say. Preserve your voice. Woo! Retire in Harrisburg. More fun, less tax. Harrisburg, Pennsylvania just leapfrogged into the Retirement Hall of Fame, says U.S. News and World Report. It's where healthcare is so on point, you go just for the checkup banter. The tax rates make your pension feel like a treasure chest. It's a place where happiness is the main street and everyone's grinning, possibly at the low tax bill. Lancaster's been dethroned. and Harrisburg's the new cool kid on the retirement block, where every lawn's prime, get off my grass territory. So, time to bring your life stories and a good lawn chair. Harrisburg's the stage where retirement gets a standing ovation. Are we gonna, you thinking about retiring in Harrisburg, babe?
Yeah, I mean, we're here.
Yeah. I mean, we could retire here. It could
We
work.
could.
I might go somewhere warmer. I don't know.
A little bit warmer. Number one in the country.
one.
Out of 149 cities. Period. Is that all?
Yeah.
Medical, and we have the best senior care facilities in the country as well. I've been said this about Pennsylvania, but y'all was not listening. I said it like 6 shows.
It has the highest, what is it, recidivism rate? No.
No, that's the wrong one.
What's the word?
Nativism rate.
Nativism. There we go. It has the
80%.
highest native. So once you move here, you're more likely to
Born and die here
die here.
at 80%. Yep.
And it's nice. It's nice. Listen.
That's why, like Bossier said, are we going to retire? Yes, because we could move right across the street to Bethany Village and have a wonderful life. All right.
All right. These stories are always upsetting. Harrisburg is definitely not unique when it comes to senseless gun violence, but this story, it can't go unmentioned. In the recent news, 20-year-old Manju Sila, accused of shooting 3 kids near the intersection of 18th and Regina Street, was involved in an hours-long standoff with police when out of nowhere, a 16-year-old boy said to be a friend of Sia opened fire as officers said Sia was detained. Are we fed up yet? At what point does the community say enough is enough?
That's right.
I think the time has come. Recently, Mayor Wanda Williams, along with other local officials, have announced a parent task force initiative set to have their first meeting on November 29th from 5:30 to 7:30. If there are any parents in the audience interested in attending, be sure to check it out at their website, harrisburgpa.gov.
Okay. Like, there are more people in the city than parents, but I'm going to be there anyway, so y'all come join me.
All right. Hey, y'all. We have writers. They do a very good job. I am not a fan of the football, so I'm going to work through this. How do you get thrown out of a Philadelphia Eagles game at Lincoln Financial Field? 1, you can be George Norcross, a New Jersey Democrat. 2, hang out with Republican candidate Chris Christie, also ex-New Jersey governor, Chris Christie, at said football game.
By the way, Bossier's from Jersey, by the way. This is his fault.
While at the game, now here's the thing that triggered it. While at the game, you can proudly display a banner combining the American flag and Israeli flags from your luxury box.
Wow.
So, yeah, this happened. George Norcross was asked to leave the stadium after displaying his solidarity with Israel, and now he is threatening to sue the NFL and their security company. Video shows Norcross having a heated confrontation with security. Yes, there's video. Go check it out. According to the statement posted in Politico, Norcross said, "As a longtime passionate fan and season ticket holder, I have watched the Eagles/NFL make clear, strong statements on numerous important civil justice issues and ethnic and world conflicts, including supporting the people of Ukraine. So, as a supporter of Israel, a country which was viciously attacked by the terror group Hamas less than a month ago, I thought it was an important statement to make." So does anyone in our audience think Norcross shouldn't have been removed from the stadium?
Now, what happened?
Yeah, I don't
was-
care either. Sorry.
Right, we don't care. But what happened was they said he couldn't hang the flag outside his box. That's what really was a problem. So like they said you can't hang flags or make political statements with like materials, basically, and he had this box and he can't obstruct views, all these things, and he had a very large flag. So he said it was because he was making the statement, and the stadium and the security are saying it's because he did the thing that's in the rules that they said he shouldn't do.
Them's the rules.
Them's the rules. It's hard not to be able to follow the rules for some people.
It's complex. It's complex. All right. Next, the American Ornithological. Ooh, there we go.
That's a nice one.
I was practicing that.
That was $100.
Ornithological
Yeah.
Society announces a renaming initiative for bird species in the U.S. and Canada, prioritizing characteristics and habitats over names tied to ethnic groups or individuals with controversial histories. Nearly 260 birds will receive new monikers to foster inclusivity in bird watching and ornithology. So, study of bird watching.
What is ornithology?
What is ornithology?
I don't know. Oh, thank
Study
you.
of birds.
Thank you.
Species like the Eskimo curlew,
Well,
the Inca dove,
Oh.
and the Bachman sparrow, named after a slave-owning clergyman.
oh. I was like, why was Bachman bad? Got it.
Will be among those renamed. Ornithologicalist Karina Newsom, co-founder of the Black Birders Week,
Hey.
expresses enthusiasm for the change, while Shushma Reddy, chair of ornithology at University of Minnesota, emphasizes the importance of welcoming diverse backgrounds in birdwatching. The initiative aims to create more inclusive and nature-centric environment and make white people mad about something.
Now we can't even have bird names. What did Bachman ever do to you? Got it. What else?
I can't have anything. All right, here we go. Media and melanin time.
First of all, I will not allow you to be a better host than me. The disrespect.
Now this I'm gonna riff on. This is my type of story. Marvel enthusiast. Side note, we don't talk about this, but anyone after Loki finale coming up,
Dun, dun, dun.
holla at me. But not this time. This one over at the intense trailer for the forthcoming Disney Plus / Hulu series Echo, featuring Alakwa Cox, a deaf actress, as the MCU's inaugural indigenous superhero.
Ooh.
Yeah. This groundbreaking show also marks the first MCU to receive a TV MA rating.
Oh,
I have to check that out. Punisher was real, like.
So Punisher didn't have an MA rating?
I gotta check. I'll follow
What?
up. All right.
You're right.
So first one to receive a TV MA rating, signaling a departure from the studio's typical safe content approach. Getting a little greedier. I heard the same thing happen with Blade, Mahershala Ali. We'll talk about that later. Also black. The gritty trailer showcases a level of violence that will undoubtedly please critics longing for a more daring narrative.
Oh, okay. They wanted to be spicy.
I want it to be spicy. Echo follows the story of Maya Lopez, played by Alakwa Cox, previously seen as the antagonist on Hawkeye. Y'all seen Hawkeye? She was kicking some butt in Hawkeye.
Alakwa Cox. Sorry.
I can't.
Sorry, I
See?
apologize.
You see? Listen. As she contends to the criminal empire led by Wilson Fisk, played by Vincent D'Onofrio.
Ooh.
First of all, his Wilson Fisk, very solid kingpin. Very solid kingpin.
Very solid kingpin.
No matter what. Like, listen,
matter what.
that was best part of Hawkeye series. I know, we can
Did
argue
Janelle just
over
say,
this
what are
stage
they
of
talking
Marvel.
about?
I said, he did a dissertation on comic books. I said, you know what
Yes.
Again, we'll talk all day.
You love what? He
Yes,
loves Daredevil.
Daredevil, fantastic.
You and
all the
Bashir
way
would
up.
get along well.
Fantastic.
You and
Good-
Bashir would
my
get
man,
along well.
My man.
You both are light skinned.
Very good.
You both have beards, and you both like Daredevil. It's gonna work out.
Here we go. Or maybe a multiversal self. Ooh. There we go. Listen, don't even get me started on. I'm not going to jump in
If you get him started
to that whole controversy because I disagreed with the writer's previous assessment of certain individual situations.
He's still mad about that.
Anyway, in a recent interview, Gayle King, CBS Mornings, Jay-Z weighed on the age-old hypothetical $500,000 or lunch with Jay-Z. $500,000. The rapper advised choosing the money, diverging from popular sentiment.
Who is taking a lunch with Jay-Z over $500,000? Thank you very much.
This question has circulated on social media for years, eliciting various perspectives on the merits of each option. Jay-Z's endorsement of the cash aligns with his pragmatic outlook, emphasizing financial independence.
Anyone's pragmatic.
Listen,
It's
what-
$500,000.
all right, I'm gonna take a quick side note. Y'all, his album, he's like investing in art. Everyone's like, oh, he's a genius. I'm like, what? Anyway, while a meeting with the iconic artist could offer invaluable insights, like I'd meet Jay-Z, but $500,000, I'm like, I'll give that up. I mean, maybe Barack Obama, maybe, right? All right. Anyway. Like even Beyonce, I'm like, all right. Jay-Z's perspective adds a new dimension to the perennial debate, prompting further contemplation on the true worth of the encounter with the cultural icon.
This was never a debate in my mind. Next.
All right. Speaking of why I actually don't watch the NFL anymore.
Oh, right.
Colin Kaepernick and Nike have joined forces again, this time unveiling a new apparel collection, spotlighting his journey from NFL star to activist to capitalist. Oh, wait, what? Sorry. The collaboration features a limited edition item. Listen, wait till you get the prices on these bad boys.
The prices are coming.
Limited edition items designed by London-based artist Joy Yamusanji, sorry.
You did great.
Priced at $50 for a t-shirt,
Please go to
$80 for a hoodie.
Please go to hell
The
again.
collection aims to promote Kaepernick's legacy. Both pieces will be available for purchase on Nike's website starting October 27th.
And they can go to hell. Did I say go to hell yet?
The partnership reflects Kaepernick's ongoing commitment to social justice
How is that?
and reinforces Nike's support for athletes using their platform for a positive change.
For profit.
This collection serves as a tangible representation of Kaepernick's impact on and off the field.
Profit on and off the field.
So here's my thing. And then this is personal to me because my full-time job, the reason why I'm not up here, I manufacture things. And the cost of manufacturing, like Nike, the reason why Nike is because they've been exploiting manufacturing labor for years. But that's like America, like, right? Like they're not unique, but all right.
Correct.
So, on to the next segment.
Now that you just started some shit.
I'm just saying. This is why I can't be up here. I got problems.
If y'all thought I was bad, he's worse.
That's why I don't say things.
Yep.
I just sit in the background.
Yep.
There's nothing to do in Harrisburg, y'all.
Or as we like to call it, upcoming events.
As Kimeka always says, this show is a partnership between young professionals of color and Open Stage.
Who's a member? Yeah, you can
Who's a member?
Who's a member?
Please join YPOC. We do dope things.
Frank is still not a member.
Frank is not a member.
He done been on my
Come
tip.
on.
Wow. Sarah's not a member?
Listen,
Lies.
both YPOC and Open Stage.
Winnie
Join the Open
needs to
Stage
renew
inner
her
circle.
membership. Yes. Okay.
Please. There's fantastic performances here all the time.
What's been coming up, Kip?
Christmas Carol is in rehearsal.
Yep.
24 years of doing Christmas Carol with the same actor playing Scrooge for 24 years.
Nick.
The only guy in Harrisburg we can find with an English accent.
Yeah.
So we keep hiring it.
Yeah.
Nick Hughes is amazing.
Nick Hughes. Shout out to Nick.
And then, of course, everybody's favorite adult holiday show.
It's my favorite.
Yes, Who's Holiday, featuring none other than Rachel Lane.
Oh, Rachel Linden.
It's a good show. I enjoy that one every year.
Right here
every
in
year.
the studio.
Right here. Y'all need to come out. Listen, we're like right down the street from SciTech.
Yeah.
We're right around the corner from HU.
Yep.
I am always shocked at how many people like come here and they're like, I didn't know
have
this
never
was
seen
here.
this place. Wow.
Fantastic location.
Now, Gibby built this studio with his bare hands.
Bare hand. Like literally right before we were doing this. It was great.
Gibby and John built this studio. Okay, but yes, and the cabaret say all this is now it's 3 years old, but 3 years old, brand new. So come and check out the amazing performances on the main stage and in the studio theater. All right.
Next. It's this holiday time. YPOC Friendsgiving, November 16th. Bring a dish and help us put up a tree.
Yeah.
It's a holiday tree. Yes.
Yes, we'll have the
all of
basketball
the. It is not a.
This is the holiday Black History Month tree. It stays
Absolutely.
up until the end of February.
Absolutely. It's fantastic.
It's got Black history figures on the tree. Yep. And we hang that on the 16th of November, and then we celebrate for 3 months.
3 months. Every year. So come to Hurston Manor. Check us out. Enjoy. We'll have some beverages. If some of my friends come, we might have some video games on another level.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
They go upstairs and leave us for 2 hours.
I'm
and play
just-
video games. So come and hang out.
And then lastly, YPOC Juneteenth kickoff, December 1st at WITF.
Yes.
Come on, y'all. Be a part of it. If y'all enjoyed anything last year, please come and be a part of it.
Yeah.
We start now. We started like
months ago.
But like y'all can start now, and we can do amazing things. I'm excited for this year's Juneteenth.
And we have one more thing, because I forgot to put it on the card.
What's up?
It's our YPOC Merry, Litty, and Bright holiday party on December 16th. We have, if you've never been to Merry, Litty, and Bright, it's real fun. It's real fun. We get merry, we get litty, and we get bright. So you should come. We do Dirty Santa. We have an ornament contest. We have an ugly sweater contest. There are prizes. There are more prizes. There's food and there's drink. It is also BYOB. BYO beverage, whatever that may be. I think they got it.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. And we made it through the first segment, y'all. Woo! You saw how quiet she stayed? That was a record. You did good. You did good, babe.
I mean, I stayed relatively quiet.
Right. Relatively.
So we'll be right back with our first guest.
Hello there, my name is Winnie Okello, and I am the founder of the Harassment and Assault Reporting Platform, also known as HARP. And you can check us out at www.harpnow.org. That's HARPNOW.org. My intent in creating this platform was actually from, just the culmination of my own lived experiences dealing with issues of harassment and assault, both as an experiencer and as a witness to these incidents throughout society. I hope that you will take a moment out of your day to check out the website and find out more about how you can get involved in being a part of the solution. Thank you, and we look forward to our future collaborations. Take care. Bye.
All right.
Hi.
Winnie.
Hey, hey.
Hey.
Hey, my people.
For those of you who know, I've had a chance to interview Winnie in several facets.
Yes.
And this is great. This is unexpected. So, Winnie,
Yes.
you've been an active public servant.
Absolutely.
Wait, you're going too fast. Let's first tell them about what you and Winnie did together for a year and a half.
Yes. Do you want to tell them?
If you all remember, there was one time I was a guest on here. We were talking about Harrisburg's comprehensive plan. So in any city, if you're in a city, go find out what your comprehensive plan says, and then hold your public officials to making sure they get the plan. If it's not to your liking, ask them to make it better, and then it hold them to it. We did this. We read through a 400-page document, y'all. We broke down into each section and did a weekly show. Winnie helped drive this initiative.
For 18 months.
Yes, and it's still going, just not as frequently.
Now evolved into the community working group.
Correct.
Where we just work through issues, but
Yes.
that was where it started.
Just want to say they adopted the plan with no input from that 18-month effort.
We'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
So, outside of that,
But we did our part.
We
We
did
did our part.
I feel good. You've been a public servant for over a decade now. We know we can always count on you
Aw, thank
to
you.
put words to action.
Absolutely.
Whether it's through YPOC, Juneteenth, HARP,
Yes.
and all the work you do.
Absolutely.
Now, you are statewide strategic coordinator for the Office of Environmental Justice at the Pennsylvania Department of Environmental Protection.
Yes, I am. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. So,
Back there.
tell us a little bit about that. What sparked your interest in the environmental sector?
Oh, peopling. Honestly, that's really what it comes down to. Like, my passion, purpose, and profession is in a beautiful season right now where all those three things have melded beautifully together. Because for me, the thing that moves me is my expertise of this season of my life, which is the human element of engineering. For those of you who don't know, my background is in civil and environmental engineering. Yay, Bucknell University. Not trying to force anybody to go there, but it's a beautiful, small PWI institution up the way. And I started as a civil engineer. Actually, shout outs to the community colleges, because I started as a community college scholarships kid, went to Bucknell, and I was like, civil engineering, okay. Literally process of elimination, because everything else I was like, not it. And, and I was like, civil engineering sounds good. And then when I took my first environmental engineering, I think probably like within the first couple of environmental engineering electives, because my major was combined civil and environmental. And the professor, the one time he was talking about endocrine disruptive chemicals. And
What kind of chemicals?
oh, sorry, thank you. Good, thanks. That's like the host. Endocrine disruptive chemicals. So
Said it fast again.
sorry.
Just slowly.
Yes, sorry.
For those of us who don't have the engineering ear,
Endocrine disruptive chemicals. I know, right? Okay, I see you. The teacher in me now pops up because I see people like, what does that mean? I'll tell you what that means. So your endocrine, your endocrine system, right, is the thing that controls the hormones in your body and all that good stuff. So too much of any hormone produces adverse effects. And so through chemicals, right, that's why we have chemists and chemical engineers, through chemicals that are found in your plastic water bottles. That's why you see a lot of them now have signs that say, may contain phthalates, may contain TCEs, may contain PFAS. PFAS is one of the new methyl ethyl death chemicals going around, right? Microplastics. Those things, right? they're practically in everything. The common name is forever chemicals that basically pollute your water, pollute your ground, your soil.
It
Contamination.
sounds terrible, Winnie.
It is because it is. It is trash, right? And I'm glad that you're saying that as a constituent, because it's literally in everything. And for me, when they were talking about it, it was specifically, it really hit me as one of 4 girls in the classroom, only black girl for my year and the next for civil engineering. It really hit me when he was talking about how these endocrine disruptive chemicals are usually found in communities or areas that are close to industrial sites, that are close to where a lot of these pollutant sources are. And those communities also happen to be what? Black, brown, immigrant, or indigenous places. And it was such a fleeting conversation and statement, but I was just locked in. I was like, I am a junior now in my academic career, and this is the first time I'm hearing about this. And that was, I think, probably one of the handful of times that ever came up. But it stuck with me till this day. And I was like, I'm interested in that, because I'm not sure that there's enough of us who care enough to center that as a core reason why we should care about environmental sustainability. We hear about greenhouse gases, we hear about all these other things, but as a woman, as an immigrant, as a potentially birthing person, as someone who happens to, also this is the other thing, because women are nature's litmus test. Whether you choose to give birth or not, we are nature's litmus test. When things are wrong in the water, in the ground, it shows up on us first. It's in our uterus, our thyroids, cancers, cervical cancer. We're the most sensitive instrument that nature has. And so also because I'm a super earthy nature person, so I was like, we need to talk about this more, and it's not. And to me, one of the things I will keep saying, because you know me on my DEI tip also, it's interesting how, and no shade to my fellow engineers out there, chemists, whoever, it's interesting how now PFAS is the contaminant of concern. And ask yourself why, because endocrine disruptive chemicals, which have been more of a women or female issue for decades. I've been out of college for about a decade now. Don't get it twisted. Yeah, it's back on track. Right? But ask yourself, why is it that endocrine disruptive chemicals were, because I don't know, but a lot of people, how many of you are familiar with PFAS, or the term PFAS? You see hands. How many of you were familiar with the impact or endocrine disruptive chemicals prior to my mentioning it? There, you see? Right? And these are things we don't teach enough of, which is why for me it's very important when I talk about environmental stewardship, when I talk about environmental sustainability and addressing environmental injustices, particularly to Black, brown, indigenous, or systematically disenfranchised communities. That is one of my core interests, but regardless of what hat I'm wearing. And we'll be doing a series on that on the Launch and Learn site. So if you're interested, pull up on that.
So,
long answer, but that's it.
Let's take the time to explain that, because a lot of people
Yes.
who may be concerned about the environment,
Absolutely.
they don't realize how much this is a social justice issue.
Absolutely.
Explain to the folks watching a little bit more about that.
Oh, social justice, right? Yeah, because I stumbled into environmental justice through social justice, the social justice movement, right? Understanding that not everybody may care about the environment. I'm not gonna be ignorant of that, right? Not everybody may personally care about the environment, but you care where your kids are taught, you care where your funds go to, hopefully, if you're watching your city council budgets. You care who wins the election, and you care what your regulators are able to enforce or not. You care what your ordinances look like and what's enforceable or not. And so when we talk about social justice, right, the understanding that all the social ills that are creating a systemic injustice, typically rooted in what? Racism and classism, because we cannot talk about racism without talking about classism, right? So when we talk about social justice and the need for community advocates and community activists such as us, when we talk about the need for social change, the environment is in everything. Whether you're talking about computers, right, greenhouse gases, how you get from point A to point B, how you make your money. Is it ethical? Because that's the other big thing people don't like to answer, right? It's where does morality and ethics come in when you talk about social justice, when you talk about environmental advocacy, when you talk about education and awareness? Because for me, everything I do is rooted in really social education and empowerment. Education and awareness is key in everything that I do. So yeah, for me, you cannot have environmental justice without social justice. Because if you ask me what is environmental justice without social justice, it's nothing. Yeah.
But wait, isn't this easy? Isn't there just a bunch of money stashed away specifically to address the impact of environmental racism?
First of all, I appreciate that you called it appropriately environmental racism. Thank you, right? Because me and Dr. K's favorite, phrase: words matter, language matters, context matters, right? And so when we talk about too often the verbiage thrown around is environmental justice, environmental justice, environmental justice. But to me, it's too focused on an outcome when you haven't clarified what the steps are to get there. And you also hardly ever hear the folks address the root, because you gotta address the root cause issues. You gotta do your root causes to build a process to get reasonable outcome. So I appreciate you calling it what it is. Call it I think sometimes people forget that you have to address the issue to fix it. Step one, name it. Environmental racism. Environmental racism is the ancestor of environmental justice, okay? Environmental racism is where this environmental injustice movement goes to. So it's understanding that there was ecological impacts that were due to systemic and structural racism towards a very particular grouping of people, and all those others who happen to also be pulled into it, right? Meaning if you were not rich or white or had enough money to adjust yourself into those appropriate castings.
Usually rich, white, and male.
Correction, yes. Rich, white, and male, preferably, right? If you were not that, everything else happened to be black, brown, and otherized, got clumped in together, so you saw these clusters of people moving into certain areas, which then we generally refer to them as communities of wherever that you cluster them. And it was by design. As a civil engineer, I'm literally saying that it was by design. It was by planning, it was by design, and therefore, the outcomes you see today are not accidental.
Absolutely. Now you answered the last question, because the last question is, how does it impact Black and brown communities? And if it's by design, then we know it is intentionally impacting Black and brown communities.
Absolutely.
So you have a lunch and learn coming up. Tell us about that.
Oh, yes. So the lunch and learns are usually on Sundays. I usually host them on the Harrisburg Community Working Group Facebook page. Find us on Facebook. Or if you go to Winnie O Media, that's where all my other platforms are that I talk about different aspects of this. Cosmetic Science Review, focus on the cosmetic element of it, which, quick plug, the EPA is looking to ban right now. Now that EJ is the focus area, we're beginning to see the environmental regulators beginning to propose bans on certain chemicals. PFAS being one of them, TCE, trichloroethylenes is another one. And
these words just roll off her tongue.
Right? And why should you care about TCEs? Because if you wear any kind of cosmetics, men included, it's oftentimes in those, and they're like, oh, what? This is carcinogenic, meaning it's cancerous. So they're like, oh, what? These things are causing cancers? Maybe we should finally ban them, right?
There are some billion-dollar makeup empires that you know of that are very popular, that are very cancerous.
Absolutely, yes. And so, right, yeah, so if you're interested in any of these topics that I talk about, I usually go into far more depth on my various platforms. That's Votes to Saturdays, chillax mode, HARP, which is the harassment and assault reporting platform. And you're wondering, well, what does his have to do with harassment and assault? When it comes to environmental advocacy and the billions of, right? Because you said billions and trillions of dollars, right? Right now, quick plug, coming out of the federal government, we're looking at about $100 billion. Because too oftentimes people are fighting over the slight piece of pie. I want the crab in a barrel. No, that's not the issue here. Number one, we're talking on the scale of billions with a B and trillions with a T of dollars coming down from the federal government that are earmarked for environmental justice initiatives. Wow. And 40% of all these efforts are required to be addressing Black, Brown, Indigenous communities that have been impacted by historic environmental injustices. 40%, that's with the IIJA and the Justice 40 initiative. Also, director of the EPA, I believe he also has announced he has put out, there's about like $27 billion specifically earmarked for Black and Brown businesses. B, right? Because people are usually arguing over millions of dollars. That's billions and trillions on the federal level, which will be dispersed to your state level, which will then also be dispersed to your municipalities and nonprofits. So this is the quick plug here. If you're looking to do something and positively impact your community and the environment, get into EJ, find a way to be a part of the solution. Again, the $100 billion is in looking at the future of greenhouse gas reduction and what is the future of green tech and the environmental nexus. So I know it's a lot.
That is amazing. Give it up for Winnie Okello, everyone.
Thank you. Yes. All things at Miss Winnie O or Winnie O Media on the socials. Thank you.
A very captivating person. If you want to find out more about her, she's Winnie O on most platforms, so you can find out more about her.
Thank you.
Sarah, take us into the commercial, why don't you?
All right. And we'll be back after this.
This is 9th grade teacher in Maritza Turman's classroom. Turman, who's been teaching for a decade, says it's a big part of her students' learning.
It's kind of becomes a community point. It feels home, and a lot of kids, they always come back. They're like, your room just feels just so comfortable.
A lot of work has gone into it, and a lot of money.
When it comes down to the decorations of my room or my rugs or any of the posters or art or things that I have in my room, I try to source them locally. I try to source them responsibly, but it ends up coming out of my pocket.
Young Professionals of Color Greater Harrisburg helps with those costs.
We put dollars directly in the hands of teachers.
Since 2018, the nonprofit's Adopt a Classroom program has given $500 grants to teachers in the area for specific projects and necessities in the classroom.
We've heard super exciting stories from doing arts incubators to gaming classes to a garden club.
Teachers across the country are dishing out their own money for similar efforts. A report from My eLearning World found teachers were expected to spend more than $800 out of pocket on classroom supplies. And data from the Institute of Educational Sciences found more than 90% of all public school teachers put money into their classrooms that isn't reimbursed. Teachers like Nicole Elise Smith, who started a garden for her students with the help from YPOC.
It helps me as a teacher expand what I'm able to do within the classroom out of the realms of a regular curriculum.
She says community support helps address the specific needs of her students.
So we're actually touching on what the Black and the Brown students are asking for. And YPOC is that safety net to be able to step up to help me get those materials that I would need for the students.
The nonprofit's goal is to help as many as 20 teachers this year. Turman believes it will foster a better learning environment for students in the Harrisburg area.
We can feel better about providing safety, security, love, and self-actualization to our students because some of those base obstacles have been removed.
Logan Perrone, Fox 43 News.
Hi. And we're back.
And we're back.
With Tim Downing. So Tim, introduce yourself a little bit.
Okay, well, let me jump right into it. My name is Tim Downing. Today I'm representing Tri-County OIC. I think there was going to be a little bit of fight as to OIC America or Tri-County, but specifically it's Tri-County OIC. I could sit here and tell you kind of like a lot about what our organization does. It's been around since the 50s.
Yeah.
But the main thing that I'm coming to talk about is reentry and how that affects us with environmental reform,
Yes.
criminal justice reform, all of those things, and how we impact our direct community and not just a portion of it. Of course, race plays a part because we know that the criminal justice system has disproportionately affected black and brown people across the world, not just America. But what we do is we have two programs specifically. One of our programs, you have to be incarcerated presently to be enrolled. So that's important because
Well, what does OIC stand for? What does that mean?
It stands for Opportunities Industrialization Center. That's a mouthful,
Opportunities
right?
Industrialization Center.
And people have probably seen it. It's connected to the Nativity School, right?
Yes.
In the community on McClay Street, and never knew what that really meant.
Never.
I didn't know what it meant.
Until you just said it.
Yeah, I just figured it out. No.
Have y'all heard of Tri-County OIC? Yeah. Nobody else has. Okay.
Okay, well, let's
Good
talk
to know.
about it.
That's good to know. Yeah.
Yeah, let's get to it.
So yeah, tell us. You were talking about how does Tri-County OIC's SOAR program, help young people in the criminal justice system?
Okay. Well, that's our second program. It's called YARP. That's a funny word. But
YARP.
Yeah, it stands for young adults.
Like YARP, but YARP.
But YARP.
Got it. Okay.
Right? So that program is, you have to be 18 to 24, some criminal justice involvement. You don't have to necessarily have a felony or anything, but just somewhere along the line you ran into a little problem with the criminal justice system. Our particular job is to make sure that you don't go back into the same system that has for maybe 300 years destroyed communities. So we're trying to rebuild a community. What better place to start than with our youth who are at risk and are out there walking the streets? Some of the same people that we fear are some of the same people that we save. So OIC, in essence, to some people, we're superheroes, right? Because we rescued an idea, not a person. So I don't want to get it mixed up, that we're not fighting the challenges of saving people. We're fighting the challenges of protecting and enshrining ideas that allow the man or the woman next to you to live in peace.
Yes.
So we have to kind of combat multiple things, not just reentry, even though it would be labeled reentry, right? But it's way more than reentry because I can see the mind states of people change after they get introduced to a lot of our case managers and employment specialists.
So why is this important to you personally? Why is doing this work with reentry important to you and making sure that people have a pathway to living, being full contributing members of society?
Good question. The first reason why is because, as you can see, I am a Chinese man in America. So I really don't know what it's like to be patted down and to be harassed and to be incarcerated. No, but actually, I am a black man. And I come from a lineage of black men and black boys who have suffered from the hands of the criminal justice system the same way that a person may have suffered from the hands of a robber or a murderer. So for a lot of us that has suffered through this, understand that the criminal justice system has become an extension, in essence, of a hand of a crime that is committed to you in the name of protecting people who may not even have been affected of your crime. So it's important that we talk about this because we have about 4 million people that are in prison in this country, and about 65% of them look like me. 60. Whether they speak Spanish, whether they speak Bantu or Kiswahili, or they speak English.
Wow.
They are affected, and oftentimes they are affected for
65%.
That's right, 65%, and we only make up, let's just use the population of indigenous or African American. We only make up about 17%. African Americans specifically 13%. The people who identify as indigenous make up 4%. So we make up about 17%, but we take up 65% of present bids, and prisons. So this is an environmental call as well, because this affects our environment, because our environment doesn't look the same that it did in 1975, right? So we are protecting, or attempting, I should say, to protect more than just, again, people, but also our communities, which is a fancy word just to say a common unity. So what do we all have in interest?
So this is a big issue that affects all of us. So how do we work to support the work that you're doing at OIC?
Money.
Period.
No, that's what it's about. Not money because I'm going to benefit and all of a sudden my salary is going to go all the way up.
Because this stuff costs money.
That's right. But because it costs money to be able to court the people who need the support. I'm a poet and didn't even know it.
There you go.
And so we have to court these things. Of course, we have grants coming from different things, but it also causes your voice. This is the real cost. Where is your voice at? We drive and live in the city, and we see what's going on. We see what's happening to our neighborhoods that are becoming degraded. We see what's happening to our youth who are becoming more and more misinformed, even though they have a cell phone, which is an apparatus that should be used for information. But what that happens to do to the people is it puts our head down, and we don't see the reality of what we're living in. And so it's going to cost you, and all of you to speak about this, to talk about this, to show some interest in the people who you will walk by. Right? Those people have greenhouse gases coming out their cars.
Wow.
Those people work alongside you. Those people work for you. And you may not even know that they have this disease called previously incarcerated. And it is a disease because it will plague their life the same way that cancer plagues someone's life. So it is a disease, and we have to fight it as such.
This is amazing. This is amazing work that you're doing. How can we get in touch with you if we have more questions?
Easy. There's multiple apparatuses, as you said about Miss Winnie. Most social media platforms I'm on, my name is Timothy Downing, obviously. Tri-County OIC's phone number, and we take everyone that calls or comes in. We turn no one away. If we don't have the resource for them, then our job at that point becomes a resource broker, right? So we find them the resource. And that number is 717-238-7318. Our website is tricountyoic.org. If you ever go to it, there is a smorgasbord of things that we do. We do way more than just reentry. And one of the things that I want to kind of promote today, besides just SOAR, is we have something called Tim Talks. It's not just me talking, of course, but what it is it's a reentry group for people who may have had justice, criminal justice involvement, for people that may need it, like you need AA or NA. And so you are able to speak about what is your plight when you come home, because oftentimes people aren't allowed to speak about what it feels like, especially men, and I can speak for men, to feel like you don't have anything. To feel like, how does a man look at his children and say, I just came home from a sentence that was politically given to me that I didn't deserve, and now I can't even feed you. I have to ask your mom, can she drive you to school? And so when we started to really take a look at this, maybe in the last 10 years, there may have already been 8 million people that can never go back and get their records fixed. And we were talking about B's and M's earlier when we were talking about monies. But the letter M represents millions with humans. Now, when you equate that to how much they would have been making, what they would have contributed, right? Then now we're talking about trillions.
That's right.
So the impact is immeasurable, and I think that if we focus, I just came from Philly, and I'll be brief, and we had focus groups that just talked about how do we affect and change the lives of all of these old people who came out and can't find their way. They're under the bridges, they're doing all types of things. So we have to have focus groups. We have to communicate about what's going on, because if we do not, it's like allowing one mouse into your house. And then you think that it's just that one mouse until you wake up and you are infested. And if we don't want our streets to be infested, then I think it's time to dominate, educate, and procreate people who think just like we think.
Wow. Well, he's told you how to reach him. He's told you all the good things he's doing. Give it up for Timothy Downing.
Tim Down, thank you for coming on, and we'll have our next guest right after this.
It's the generational, wealth for us. And trust, in this season, it's about to go down. And what we're building, with our generational wealth, is like the third little pig's house. Something that the big bad wolf will not be able to blow down. And we're building enough generational wealth so that it can go round and around and around and around and around to affect and impact every generation. For we are the game changers of this nation. Continue creating, continue elevating, continue perfecting your field. This is construction, reconstruction. Generational wealth. We will continue to build. It's time for change. We need to make the changes that we wish to see. I don't know about you, but all I know is the generational wealth. Generational wealth. For me. Level up. We thank you for supporting us.
Well, apparently we're back, and we have another guest.
All right. Janelle Stelson. Welcome, Janelle.
Thank you, Basir. Thank you, Dr. K.
Tell us. So, well, yes, she also brought her own fan club.
Just in case.
Just in case. So we're going to give you a moment to tell us about Janelle Stelson.
Well, thank you. First of all, I'd like to thank my friend Kimberly Fletcher, who's here with me tonight. And I'm Janelle Stelson, running for Congress to try to defeat Scott Perry next November. But my brilliant campaign manager put together something called Students for Stelson, and we have a number. We're not calling them interns, we're calling them fellows. And one of my fellows is here tonight, Frank Fleming, who's a Penn State Harrisburg guy. He's getting his doctorate, and he actually has been very interested in a number of the topics tonight, too. So it's been really a fantastic show.
All right.
We are very happy that you're here.
Thank you. My absolute pleasure.
So before this, we know you from anchoring the news for years, and now you are news. So tell us, what got you interested in running for Congress?
I'll tell you, I got into journalism 38 years ago because I thought it had the power to affect
But you're
change.
only 35.
Yeah, I know. This is a little Benjamin Button action going on there. But I got into it because I thought it had the power to affect change, which it has. I've done some really great stories. I've interviewed every president since Jimmy Carter. I'm not that old.
What?
He was doing Habitat for Humanity in Miami when I was down there at ABC. But, I've gotten a nursing home shut down that was neglecting patients, things that really make you feel like you're affecting some kind of change to make the world a better place along the way. But you have brought up tonight the pervasive gun violence and a lot of other things that are really, really wrong with society. And I realized at some juncture, as you get a little bit older and maybe hopefully a little bit wiser, that I needed to move from the telling to the doing something about it. So that's what I'm doing now.
Amazing.
Thank you.
So what made you realize that now was the time? So as we know, we have seen so many people go up against Scott Perry.
Yeah.
This current field is crazy,
Yeah,
as we know.
a lot of people.
Yeah, it's me and a couple of my other TV exec friends laugh, and we're like, we're going to rent a stadium for the debate.
But I think that shows a desire to
Agreed.
unseat him. A lot of people are getting into the race, and it's hard
Yes.
work. And I'm really proud that everybody wants to do it.
And this is not easy work.
No.
At all. So what made you realize at the time is now to make this move and jump into the race?
Because, very simply, he's a threat to democracy. You know.
So how has your previous experience, career, and life prepared you for this seat?
Well, the great thing is a poll came out last week showing that a lot of people know who I am, and that helps. And one of the things we need to remember in the primary, because there are really interesting people from all walks of life who are in the primary with me, and we need to make sure that we don't tear each other down and don't expend a lot of resources on making the other one look bad, because at the end, whoever is left needs as many resources and as many votes from everybody here as we can get to defeat Scott Perry. And that's really interesting. He is a no friend to the communities that I've heard talked about here tonight.
Interesting, is what I have to say about that.
I was going to say, all you have to do is look at his voting record, which I plan to make like water on a rock.
So
over the
glad
next
somebody
year.
brought up his voting record. If you haven't looked up his voting record, you should look that up. And you should tell your Republican friends on the other side of the aisle about that voting record. That also doesn't serve them. But anyway.
Oh, yeah. No, this is a Republican-leaning district.
Yes.
You are not wrong. That is going to
Yes.
be key to winning this race and unseating him. This 10th district went for President Trump by 4 points. It went for Oz over Fetterman in the Senate race by 1 point. And it went for Josh Shapiro over Doug Mastriano for governor by 12 points.
Look at
so
that.
it is doable. I call this a thinking district, not just lever pullers. We're going to need Republicans, independents, everybody in the tent to accomplish this. And I think you can make the argument that Doug Mastriano is nothing but Scott Perry light. So,
light.
You know, there is that.
So you're talking about this. What issues will you work on that'll affect the BIPOC in our communities?
I was going to say, it is as daunting as it is to think about getting elected. It is more daunting to think about the work to be done. Should I raise my right hand at the end of all of this? And I know for basics, you know, when you edit it all down, what do we need? We need to be safe. We need to be healthy. We need good educations, and we need good paying jobs that support our families. Now, there are a lot of other things that need to be taken care of, you know, environmental justice, gun violence, immigration, securing the border, but being, you know, a shining light for the rest of the world about the way democracy can look when you have new Americans. So there are a lot of things to be done, but I think it all boils down for me to those 4 things.
That is amazing. So you are officially campaigning.
Yes, I am.
Yes.
I left WGAL, gosh, now it's been more than a month, in September, and then launched the campaign for Congress about 2 weeks later. So we're just freshly launched, we're getting off the ground, and taking care of a lot of business so far.
And if folks want to get in contact, that's
Thank you.
And she is officially the first PA-10 candidate on the show.
Black NewsBeat's got it going on. I'm
That's
happy to
right.
be here. Thank you very much.
So tell us, if folks want to get in contact with you, how can they do that?
JanelleStelson.com. It's that easy.
Easy.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. And we have a launch video there that sort of explains the campaign and how we are making a broad tent. You know, it's all about women's rights, workers' rights, election rights, you know, and we're appealing to Republicans who believe in the truth and who believe in freedom and democracy, not freedom like the Freedom Caucus, which...
Oh, no, not like that?
Well, anyway, who believe in those things, and also independence. This is, you know, this is going to be very important. There's a growing constituency that's independent. I'd also like to see the state actually allow independents to vote in a primary. That would be a lovely thing. Seems sometimes I can't believe we're still talking about these things in, you know, 2023. But these are all really important issues.
Absolutely. Janelle Stelson, everyone. Thank you for coming. Thank you.
Thanks.
And we will be right back with our last and most amazing creative guest.
All right.
Looking to broaden your skills in digital media creation? Are you looking to be a part of a great team? Well, we need you. The Black News Beat will be trying to fill various positions to help make our show a great success. We'll be looking for tech assistants to help on set. We'll be looking for writers to help write the show every single episode. Also need digital media assistants. Absolutely need some live audience coordinator. We'd love to open up these opportunities to high school and college students. We'd love for you to intern with us and learn more about the business and get your feet wet with a great company at Open Stage. So if you're interested, please let us know. We'll be taking applications via email. You can email us at Kimeka@kimeka.org. That's Kimeka @kimeka.org. Hope to see you on the set soon.
All right. Up. There we go. All right, and we're back with Christyan Seay. Christyan, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, well, in full disclosure, I voted this week.
All right.
I live in Harrisburg, and yes, I am retired. So I'm a native of Steelton, actually. I've been here all my life.
Oh, another Steelton.
So I'm actually here I'm wearing my performing arts and singing hat, basically. I'm a trained singer. I studied voice for 20 years, 2 wonderful teachers, and I'm a big fan of what we call the classical arts. So when we say classical arts, we're talking about symphony, we're talking about opera, talking about Broadway, and those kinds of things. Also serve on a number of arts boards, including the Harrisburg Symphony, State Street Academy of Music, and
he's showing off.
You said, tell me about yourself.
That's right.
So this is really why I'm here. I'm also artistic director for the Capital Area Music Association, and we are a choral group here in Harrisburg. And I'm quick to say that we're not a gospel choir. But we are a group that focuses on the music of Black composers, and that's what makes us as a standout in this community.
That sounds amazing. We're gonna move. So you just told us about some of your background and your training, a little bit about it.
Mm-hmm.
But you are a classically trained artist.
Yes.
Okay. So being a classically trained artist probably takes you to a lot of spaces where you don't get to see a lot of other brown faces.
Exactly. Most of the places that I go to, we don't see people that look like us.
Right. So how hard has it been to find acceptance for your skill as an artist, for one, and as a Black artist in this arena? Sure.
And I'll be very honest about that. Presenters just want you to be good. Okay. Now, don't get me wrong. We know that when I walk in the room, they see the color of my skin, without a doubt. I often tell of situations where a lot of times I get referred for performances, and they don't know who I am, and they don't know what color I am. And then when I walk in the room, I can immediately see in their eyes, oh, this is a Black man. Oh. Okay. But yes, as long as you can deliver, and as long as you're consistent in your performance and consistent in your high quality, I'll be honest with you, I get hired for a lot of gigs. Most of it word of mouth. I don't have an agent, and I've been singing probably since, the mid-'80s, disclosure of my age, but most of it is word of mouth, and you just need to be consistent, you need to always be on, and you need to be dependable. And as long as you have those qualities, they will look past the color of your skin. But I'm not naive to think that they don't notice that I'm a Black man coming in to sing classical music or coming in to sing opera or sing Broadway and musical theater. I know they notice me as soon as I walk in. But as long as you can really move in that genre of music, again, I get hired back many times.
Oh,
so,
very good.
Certainly, absolutely.
So we saw a quote in a local publication that said you found a desire to be a part of the artistic landscape of central Pennsylvania.
Absolutely.
So tell us, why here? Why not New York or some other city that might be known for its artistic landscape?
Well, you know, we all have our places where we live. Harrisburg happens to be my home, okay? And so I feel compelled, and I think we're obligated to invest in our communities and where we live. So we have a lot of great art institutions here. We have a lot of great theater. We have a lot of great choral groups. We have our symphony. And so I want to be a part of that. And it's part of my passion and part of who I am. But again, I think that wherever we are, New York, Harrisburg, Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, we owe it to our communities to support our arts.
Yes. Well, we're very lucky to have you here leading the Capital Area Music Association. Tell us about CAMA and tell us what about it.
Absolutely. Thank you for pronouncing it correctly.
All right.
Yes, indeed. So again, CAMA, we are in our 49th season. So yes, next year we look forward to celebrating 50 years. And we're just an alternative for people to consider when they think about the choral arts. Black choirs are black singing aggregations. We tend to get put into a box into a quarter. When you say you are part of a black choir, people automatically think, oh, you guys sing gospel music, you guys sing jazz. Well, no, black people, we're everywhere, okay? We not only sing gospel, we not only sing jazz, we sing opera, we sing Broadway, we sing musical theater, we're in symphonies, we're everywhere. And so this is, CAMA provides that outlet for those that want to, sing sheet music, learn how to read, learn how to sight read, and that sort of thing, because people do come from different schools of learning. Some people just like to just learn by ear, others like to follow scores, and so we provide that opportunity for people that want to do that, want to challenge themselves to join our organization and gain that experience.
That is amazing.
Thank you.
When I get my voice back, I am actually, I actually have a very good ear, so I'll come hang out. Yeah. So we are also very excited about your fall concert coming up on November the 17th.
Indeed.
Give us all the details.
Absolutely.
I'll hold that for you while you tell us about it. Yep.
So we're doing a piece called Great Joy, and it's actually new and classic Christmas carols arranged by Michael McElroy and Joseph Joubert. Joseph Joubert is very big on Broadway, having produced a lot of Broadway theater. So we're excited to do this work. We're actually doing this in collaboration with Essence of Joy from Penn State University and State College, and also Essence 2, which is also from State College. So we're expecting about 100 singers to be a part of this particular event. It's going to be on Friday, November 17th at Word of Grace Ministries, 3814 North Progress Avenue in Harrisburg. And this is going to be a mix, so it's going to be multicultural, intergenerational, young and old, but it's going to be a wonderful, wonderful coming together of races and community for this particular event.
And the tickets are going to be $35, and you can purchase them online at www.camamusic.org.
Absolutely.
Now, and that's not all, because this is the culture and creativity segment. Christyan has decided, agreed to bless us with a little musical selection.
So this is,
whenever you're ready.
This is just a portion of one of the pieces that we're going to do for the concert on the 17th. Behold the star. Behold the star up yonder. Behold the star.
It is the Star of Bethlehem. There was no room found in the inn. It is the Star of Bethlehem, for him who was born free from sin. It is the Star of Bethlehem. Oh, behold the star. Behold the star up yonder. Behold the star. It is the Star of Bethlehem.
I don't even know what to say. What do you even say after that except Christyan Seay, everyone? I was not expecting that. That was beautiful. We are looking forward to the concert on the 17th. We are going to get our tickets, kemamusic.org. Thank you for being here. We'll be right back with Last Lap.
Y'all know him? Y'all know him now. Yo, that's the fuck, right? Hey, yo.
Oh, no. Fuck with me.
You saw how much he stayed quiet, y'all, right?
This show surprised me every time. Even when I don't have a voice, this show surprised me. I'm going to let Basir do Last Lap.
So I don't like sending people to hell, but
Is that a diss for me? Fine. He's trying to be a better
I'm trying to be better. I'm trying to be better. Just I don't like doing it. Just vote. Like please engage. Like it's. I know you always hear it's like, oh, these are the most important elections, and these are the most like this next year is going to be. It's. Your voice has power. We just heard tonight, right? We heard tonight that we're still waiting, and it's like when it's down to those hundreds of votes, it's down those tens of votes. Tens of votes. That means your vote matters. And I know we're busy, right? I drove back and forth to Allentown where I worked just to make sure that I voted in the morning. And because it's important. It's very important. So we really we do stay. We're nonpartisan. We're not arguing. Me and my wife, we have arguments all the time.
All the time.
All the time. That's great. Yeah. I think a little differently, but the main thing is we're always we always want to engage. We always want to support. We always want to make sure that we're trying to impact our community. And the first step is voting. Then all of the next steps. Please also do that, right? The voting is like the floor. The voting is really the floor. And you've got a lot of good people today. Contact them. You got Department of Environmental Protection. You've got
Tri-County OIC.
Tri-County OIC.
You've got Janelle Stelson's campaign, who is working on change.
Yeah.
And you've got so many people who are committed to this community that no matter who wins or loses, this is one thing I always say about candidates. You know them by their muster after the election.
Mm-hmm.
So if they're around after the election, that's who you need to be bothered with, because we've been here now for how long? 12? Did we say 12 years? Yeah. Which is weird for us, but this is probably the second longest place I've lived in my life, and so these elections matter for your every everyday life. PA10 matters. Your Dauphin County Commissioners matter. Your City Council, Borough Council, all these seats are the ones who could not just have a say, but they control the monies that come down to that local level. And you have hire and fire. I want you to go home tonight. I know I'm not supposed to talk this much. I want you to go home tonight. I want you to look up the voting records of all of the officials that we are talking about, that for the offices that come on the show over all the times that we have them, because we always have elected officials on the show, and we always have candidates on this show. But go home tonight, look up the voting records of these candidates and of the sitting officials and see what their positions are, where they stand, and if they don't have a position on something that you care about, you ask them about it. Ask them where they stand. Make it a point. Make it a point to ask them where they stand. And the last thing I want to say before we get out of here, because it's 9:04, folks like to shit on people who don't vote. Give your neighbor a reason to vote. Give the people around you a reason to vote. Take somebody with you to the polls. Educate someone, because people don't vote mainly because they are disenfranchised and they feel like their vote doesn't matter. And what we say in the beginning, they make you feel like your vote doesn't matter, because it does. It matters. So, as I say, yes. If I could have said that louder, I would have. I say at the end of every show, big up yourselves. You're here. You voted yesterday. Love on yourself. Be kind to yourself. We need you here to do the work. All right? Clap for yourselves. We love you. We are glad you're here. And we'll see you on the 18th, next Friday, for our last show of the month. Good night.
You may shoot me with your words. You may cut me with your eyes. You may kill me with your hatefulness. But still, like life, I'll rise.
I refuse to accept the view that mankind is so tragically bound to the starless midnight of racism and war.